Hi, I'm Michael Artsis alongside Darrell Reed, and this is Sports Daily on sports.com and Ustream.tv. Thanks for joining us. We're here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time daily. We've got a lot to get to today, huh, D?
Most definitely.
We've got so much to get to. We've got the Heat grabbing the 2 spot in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. We've got a lot more than that. Tiger Woods, he had a good weekend. Was it good enough? We're going to get to that. We took Monday off. We were just lazy.
Nah, I was here.
You were here. I was here. Sort of.
Sort of.
We didn't take Monday off. We took an extended weekend from the show, but we were working hard to bring you some great stuff. We've got an interview with an NFL draft pick coming up. He's going to talk about what it's like coming from a Division II school, Brandon Fusco. That's exciting.
Definitely.
We've got to talk about Cromartie. Antonio Cromartie, 9 children, and man, he wants to get back to work.
Not too much to talk about, but NFL news is a little bit to talk about.
And we've got some MLB talk as well. I want to talk about the MLB app. We'll get to that later. I almost plunked down the $140 for it. It's $140.
For the app.
That's what we're going to talk about later, and that is correct, $140.
App world. You can make a lot of money right now in that app world.
Well, App World is the BlackBerry thing. You've got the iTunes App Store and Amazon and all these guys.
I'm just talking about, the app world that's out there
in general.
In general, not.
Well, be
not
careful.
The app, the iTunes App Store.
You might get sued for that by BlackBerry.
I will get sued.
Apple's suing everybody for calling theirs,
not me.
saying anything about the App Store. So that's all I'm trying to say. All right. So the Knicks have been playing really well. The Heat grabbed the 2 spot. The East is shaking out. That means Boston's in the 3 spot, and the Bulls are number 1.
The East has shaken out at this point.
Yeah.
It's so.
Well, the Knicks could still move up, couldn't they?
No.
They're 1.5 back, and they've got 2 games to play.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
It's not likely. It's not likely.
Okay. But here's the thing. I said the Heat were going to be the team to beat. I said that they were going to be the team to beat when it came playoff time. I said they knew when to turn it on and how to turn it on. You said I was wrong. You kept saying that. The Heat certainly have made me look pretty good right now. They've turned it on when they've needed to turn it on to grab the 2 spot. They're not playing the Knicks, who you thought could actually hurt them.
The Heat are playing good basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The Heat are definitely hot, red hot going into the playoffs. But more importantly than the Heat is this Knicks-Celtics matchup. That's the thing about the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, that intrigues me right now, is this matchup because the Celtics are struggling, and the Knicks have won 7 in a row. Who knows how to end the season? Maybe rest some guys. Who knows if Amari's going to be healthy going into that matchup with the Celtics? But regardless, that's a good matchup, I feel, for the Knicks. But I think it'll be tough for them to get past a Celtics team that's number 1 in the league in scoring defense.
Here's what I feel. There's no way the Knicks can beat the Celtics right now. I do feel like they're hot. I do feel like they've got good players. They've got Carmelo Anthony. They've got Amare Stoudemire. And I think the Knicks are exciting. I don't think they beat the Celtics. And I think what we're missing here, okay, is the fact that the Knicks need to rest Carmelo and Amare tomorrow night and tonight, because they've got 2 games while other teams only have 1. And as you said, they're not going to make a game-and-a-half leap in 2 games probably. Why not rest these guys, let them be healthy and perfect for the playoffs? Not perfect maybe, but healthy.
I don't believe Amare is playing tonight, and I don't think it has to do anything with resting him. I think he's actually hurting, and his ankle is really bothering him, and he needs to rest.
Now
for the
I'm
playoffs.
saying rest him. I'm saying rest him now. Now you're in the playoffs. You've got your seed.
Carmelo.
You've got the matchup. Just rest him.
Rest Chauncey.
Rest him.
I think they're still trying to build some team chemistry that they've been missing with Chauncey being.
Are they going to get up playing
injuries.
the Celtics on Wednesday night? On Thursday night?
Are they playing the Celtics?
Wednesdays. They're playing the Celtics last game of the season in Boston Wednesday night.
It's an irrelevant game. They're playing each other in that first round matchup of the playoffs. So that game Wednesday night is totally irrelevant.
So you don't think
I don't anticipate any of the starters or stars.
That's what I'm saying.
Really
rest Carmelo
in the final game. Yeah,
rest him. All right, so rest him.
They're playing the Celtics.
Do you think the Knicks have any shot?
I think they do have a shot because the Celtics are struggling since losing Kendrick Perkins, because they're not the same team, because they look older, because they're playing a pretty athletic Knicks team. but I got the Celtics in 6.
You got the Celtics in 6. I would say that's pretty good. I think the Knicks will win a game, maybe 2. So I would say that's a pretty good bet. The Celtics in 6.
They could pull a game or 2 off in Madison Square Garden.
They could. That crowd is electric. It's exciting. They've got good players. Carmelo's home. I think they could pull a game off. I say 6 is a good bet. 5 or 6 is my number. No way it goes 7.
This is great for the NBA.
It is. New York.
Having the New York and Boston, that series that goes so many years back, and the first time they've played in the playoffs against each other since 1990, that rivalry is starting to brew again.
And you've got the baseball rivalry there too, which helps the basketball rivalry. There's always been a hockey rivalry too. There's a football rivalry. The basketball rivalry returns. I think it's a big deal.
What's
and a
the
good thing.
football rivalry?
New England Patriots and the New York Jets.
Yeah, it's newer. It hasn't always been there.
But it's there.
Yeah, it's definitely there now.
And what do you think about the Heat now?
The Heat have an easy first round matchup with Philadelphia. I don't think they're going to have any issues. They're hot right now. They seem to have found some team chemistry, but more importantly, they're playing better on the defensive side of the ball, which is leading to instant offense for them and fast breaks. And I think that's what makes the Heat a tougher team right now.
Would you say that the Miami Heat are turning it on for their second season?
I believe they have the guys. They should be turning it on. They got LeBron. They got Dwayne Wade. I just think that team has more chemistry, that they're playing together. Mike Bibby's finding his role as the point guard down there. So it's just a better team right now.
All right. And what about the West? We got the Lakers in the 2 spot, right?
Yeah,
you got the Spurs in the 1 spot.
Of course.
What do you think?
The Nuggets moved up to the 5 spot.
And you got Portland and the Grizzlies fighting for the 5-6 spot.
Oklahoma City in the 4th spot.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting matchup. You got Dallas, the Mavericks.
Do you think with Durant, Oklahoma City could be a bigger threat than people think? Could they be an upset threat?
I think they're definitely an upset threat. I think they proved that last year in that series against the Lakers when they really played the Lakers tough. Even though the Lakers ended up winning that series 4-2, 2 of those wins that the Lakers got were by 1 point. So it was a lot closer than it may have seemed. And I think they're probably going to come out their first round matchup this year.
Well, it's going to be an exciting NBA playoffs. I know I'm going to be locked in, which is exciting for me because I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I like the way this thing is shaking out. I kind of got into the March Madness thing, so I'm going to be watching the NBA playoffs, and I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be an exciting year.
You should be
I'm always watching, but I'm going to be watching intently this year.
You better be watching because I'm going to be quizzing you on the
I think
show.
we're going to go to some games.
We should go to some Knicks games.
We should definitely go to some games. I want to tell you, you can participate in our show in several ways. You can call in. That's 347-480-1724. You can ask Dee a question. You can ask me a question. You can set the record straight. It's 347-480-1724 here on Sports Daily, sports.com and ustream.tv. And you can also reach us on Twitter. You can follow us. You can write us messages, and we'll read them on air, too. Sports_media on Twitter. Daryl's got a Twitter as well. That's Foots95, FOOTZ95, and I'm Artsis Media, ARTSISMEDIA. 347-480-1724 is the call-in number. Call us up. We've got a lot more to get to. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL and the labor situation there. We're going to talk about a whole lot more, including Tiger Woods. Did he win? Not quite, but did he get closer? Close enough to make you happy, to make golf fans happy? Maybe. And we'll talk about a whole lot more. Plus, we have an interview with Brandon Fusco, an NFL draftee, coming up in just a little bit. You can talk about anything when you call in, 347-480-1724, even topics we've already discussed like the NBA playoffs. I'm Michael Artsis, alongside Daryl Reed. We'll be back with you in just a minute.
Welcome to Sports. My name is Greg Dorman, and this is Rally Notes.
Racing fans, don't forget that on Thursdays at 7 p.m., it's time for Rally Notes. Greg Dorman, rally racing co-driver from Klein Racing, hosts guests and takes your calls about the entire automotive industry, rally racing, and auto racing in general. Rally racing is a great sport. They have Subarus and all sorts of off-road, all-wheel drive vehicles that run through the mud and the backlogging roads. But he's not only talking rally, he'll talk all sorts of racing and automobiles as well. We'll test cars, we'll drive cars, and we'll have a lot of fun. Rally Notes, 7 p.m. on Thursday. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to Sports Daily. Darryl Reed alongside my co-host, Michael Artsis. We're going to talk about a couple little things. Call in 347-480-1724. We want to hear what you have to say out there. Ustream, appreciate the partnership. Now, the NFL owners and the NFLPA are now having to meet. But, you know, they got the judge that's, you know, mandated that they meet. They have to do mediation. What does this really mean for the NFL? To me, it doesn't mean much about the lockout, that anything's going to happen anytime soon, but what's your opinion?
Well, we're going to have a lawyer on later in the week to break this down for us, and I'm sure we'll have Gene Fusco on as well, Gene Fugit on as well. Sorry, I got Brendan Fusco's name stuck in my head. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think. I think, as I said, I've been saying all along, all these sides, both of these sides think it's very cut and dry. They think, aha, we've won. The judge will decide. This person will decide. No, you guys have to work it out amongst yourselves. All you're doing is dragging out the legal process, and you're saying, oh, check this box, we can't do it that way. Oh, check that box, we can't do it that way. Check that box, we can't do it that way. We can't have the court decide because of this. We can't have the court decide because of that. And you're basically just delaying the inevitable of the two sides getting together. What I think will happen here is they'll have mediation, and the mediation will break off, and they'll have to go back to the judge and beg the judge to make a decision. The judge will then make a decision, both sides will appeal, and in about September or October, we'll finally just have a deal being made without a judge, because the judge isn't going to make the decision here, and there'll be no other choice.
I mean, I kind of agree with you. My question is, how long are these meetings going to be? How long are they going to last? Before, when they were meeting, they were 30-minute sessions a day that the NFLPA was actually in the room with the owners. And there really wasn't enough time to get anything done. So how long are these meetings going to last, and what's going to really get done? Nothing. I don't think they're going to be able to get anything done until they're forced to get something done.
Exactly. And the only thing that's going to force them to get something done is the season, is losing revenue from the season. The players will need to get something done because they'll need paychecks, and the owners will need to get something done because they want the revenue of filled stadiums.
It's not the players. The players already want to get something done. They're already missing out on paychecks.
I understand.
As we speak.
I understand what you're saying. They're not missing out on the big paychecks, and what's going to happen? Let's talk reality.
Some of those bonuses.
Let's
if
talk.
You got a bonus coming, you're missing your bonus.
Let's talk reality, and not what I would like to happen, but what is going to happen is the players do want to make a deal here. They do want to play. They want it. They want the courts to force the NFL to make them play under the same rules and the same agreement as last year. That's not going to happen.
No.
Okay. So then the players don't want to agree to what the NFL is offering. But at some point, the players are going to have to come to the table and say, look, we got to play. We need checks. We got to get out there. Okay? And that's what I'm talking about. They do want to play. They don't want to play bad enough right now. And the point is that at some point, they're going to want to play bad enough that they'll do whatever the owners want. And at the same point, the owners will have to cave a little, and will cave a little come September or October, because they will need the money and the revenue, or want it, and see the detriment that they're causing. And this thing, it didn't work out in the courts, and they've exhausted every other option. Look at Major League Baseball in the 90s, 1994. They went to mediation. Nothing happened. Like you said here, nothing's going to happen. The meetings might go longer than 30 days, but they're not going to necessarily talk. They're not going to necessarily work anything out. Somebody in mediation, what happens is a mediator comes in and recommends things to both sides. Neither side has to listen. So what's going to happen here is a similar course to what happened in 1994 in baseball, and that's when the president asked Congress to step in and have mediation and do all this stuff, and it went a long time. Eventually, both sides are going to cave a little. One side's going to cave more. I think it's going to, unfortunately, be the players. They're going to have to cave more, and that's what happened in baseball eventually. What baseball missed a whole season.
The players have no choice but to give some things up. You know, maybe we could talk about revenue, or revenue sharing a little more, or that split that they have. You know, that 60 with $2 billion off the top. Maybe that'll be split up better. I think the players are going to go to 18 games, which they don't want to, but I think that's inevitable for the players at this point. They're going to have to go to 18 games. The owners want more money. That's the only way to get more money. And they're going to cut those 2 preseason games.
The only thing I don't understand about the 18-game argument is I understand that for a year or 2, maybe even 3, the players will not make more money based on those 18 games. But when your contract comes up, right, when you start to negotiate, when your agent is in those rooms and he says, hey, my guy Darrell Reed's playing 18 games now. I want, instead of the $6 million he should be getting, I want $7 million. I want an extra million for those extra 2 games.
That's going to be offset by those rookie salary caps that is also going to take place probably starting this draft because nobody is able to sign contracts. There's no free agents going to sign during this period of during this lockout period or after the draft. I think this is a prime time to set those salary caps on the rookies.
Basically, it's going to be a balancing act, and there are going to be compromises on both sides, and nothing's perfect. No deal is perfect. Each side has to take a little bit less, and it's a balancing act. What are you willing to give up? We're willing to play 18 games instead of 16 games, but we're not willing to do this or that. And so I think that at the end of the day, it's not going to be decided in the courts. Mediation is not going to decide it, and I think it's going to go on for a while. So
either way, I think it's good that both sides are meeting for the first time in over a month.
Well, I think what's good is that the legal process is pushing along, and that it's basically
it's slow,
but at least it's pushing along, and they're checking these things
off
off their list.
If the judge, was more hardened and just came down and said, "This is what it is."
That's not how the legal process works. In the way of, did you exhaust everything? Did you try everything? Have we done this? Have we done that? They follow the policies. They almost follow it to the T, like to the book. Okay, go back and do that. And you almost have to go back and sit at the table and prove to the judge, this isn't working. We didn't come in here as a joke. Now you have to go back and sit in front of the judge. Mediation didn't work. Please make a decision. And then it'll drag out. The guy will make a decision. The judge will make a decision. One side will appeal or the other side will appeal. It's going to be dragged out even further. You could have appeals forever. What's going to happen is come September or October, they'll realize that that's silliness, that that's not going to get football back on the field. The players will be missing the revenue. The owners will be missing the revenue. The players.
I think it's going to go into July at the latest.
No way.
Much longer. Once July gets here and those training camp dates, those potential dates at the end of July pass, and owners realize that they're not going to have the type of team, they can't structure and put together the type of outfit that they want to put on that field. I think that's when things are going to change, and that's when the real negotiations are going to begin, and hopefully they'll get something done by the end of August.
Well, I hope so, but I think it's going to take till the season really is supposed to start or actually starts, where it's supposed to start.
If I'm a guy like Antonio Cromartie, I'm my own union.
That's what he says.
My season starts today.
He's his own union. And you know what I find so funny about that? This is a perfect example. He's missing the money. He's starting to get nervous and worried. He's got mouths to feed, 9 of them, plus ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, and wives.
I definitely understand his pain. I mean, but he's in a unique situation also where he's a free agent right now.
Yeah.
He can't sign.
He's saying, hey, I'm ready to play.
He can't sign. He's not making any money.
He's ready, though.
He's ready to sign.
So that's the thing I don't understand. He seems like he's just flapping his mouth. What is he doing? He's going, first of all, he's going against the players' union, which is now a trade association.
I think he understands this, and as I understand
I think he understands nothing.
I understand this. The deeper and deeper this goes into the summer, the more and more unfocused the players become on football. You got guys boxing, playing soccer, wrestling, doing various other activities that they would have never been able to do.
But wait a second, that's some guys. There are other guys who are staying very focused. I just talked to David Clowney this morning, and he was coming off the field.
It doesn't matter. Some is some of the players. I would say even.
But how is that Cromartie's problem?
Even if it's a quarter,
worry about himself.
Even if it's a quarter of the players.
Yeah.
The league, the NFLPA is not worried about one player.
Wait, hold on.
They're worried about a group of players.
Reed, let's be honest.
They're worried about a group of players, and the more and more this goes into the summer, the less focused they are on football, and the more focused they are on other things.
Let's be honest.
Trust me. I got a lot of boys that are down in Miami right now.
Let's be honest for a second.
Enjoying that sun.
If this were a regular off season, right? If this were a regular offseason,
you'd be in OTAs.
Where would you be?
You'd be in OTAs or mini camp right now. You would have a mini camp right now before the draft.
When do you really, really, really prepare for this season?
No, you start preparing. I would be in Arizona.
When would you be in Arizona? No, you wouldn't be in Arizona. You wouldn't be in Arizona
at least one time I would have went.
You wouldn't be in Arizona training till late July.
Take a month off.
July.
Or I'd be, if I'm not in
You and I would
Arizona,
be
then I'm
celebrating.
with my team.
You and I would be celebrating July 4th
If I'm
together,
not
and
in
you get on a plane
Arizona,
and go
I'd
to
be
Arizona.
with the team, working out with the team, maybe OTAs, maybe practicing.
But what is really?
There's
what
always
are,
a mini camp before the draft.
Okay.
They're missing all of this, and that time away from football is time that goes to something else.
But you're talking about
And
like
who
a
knows
week a
what that
month.
is.
You're talking about like a week a month.
Not necessarily. The workouts
Yeah.
are every day.
Well, and there are some guys like you that choose to stay with the team anyway and work out, but other guys leave.
80% of the Indianapolis Colts
Yeah.
that are a playoff team every year stay and work out.
And
with
that's
the
why
team.
the Colts win.
Well, maybe that's
Year after year.
part of the reason
It's
they
a
win.
good part of
but
it.
I guarantee if you look at the statistics, the top teams have most of their players working out with that
I'm
team
not arguing that this
offseason.
is a bad situation, but all the guys are in the same situation. So it doesn't really.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with
Right.
that. I'm saying the further and further this goes, the less focused the players are on football.
Yeah, the less focused they'll be. They'll be focused
the
on other
more
things.
focused
I know
they're
a
on
guy
other
who's
things.
really focused on football, though. This guy, Brandon Fusco. You
Yeah, he
sat
is.
down with him.
He is really focused.
Really focused on football.
I think he's gonna be a good player.
He's entering the draft from a Division II
6'4",
school,
305 pounds.
and he met with the Jets.
Center.
He met with the Jets yesterday, and you got a chance to sit down with him. Let's take a look.
Brandon had a visit today with the New York Jets, and he decided to come down to Midtown and give us a little bit of his time.
Yeah, the visit I thought went pretty well, so just happy to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Definitely. So you had a visit with the Jets, and,
Yes.
and the visit went well. You got a chance to meet Coach Rex Ryan. How'd that go?
Went pretty well. I was very confident leaving that place, and it seems like they like me a lot. Rex Ryan seems like a really cool guy and someone I really want to be around with for the next couple of years.
So on the visit, did you guys talk any X's and O's? Did he try to get into your head a little bit?
They ask you some weird questions, but you just got to know how to answer them properly and just talk to them straightforward. But yeah, we watched some film and he did some X's and O's, and I thought I did pretty well. So we'll see how it goes on draft day.
Now, was that your first visit, or have you been on other visits?
I had a visit with Philly last week, but I've had a total of about 7 workouts. So this is all it's not new to me, but I've been doing this for a while, so I'm getting used to it now.
So Brandon here is from Slippery Rock College. Is that
University, yeah.
Slippery Rock University in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And what's their mascot out there?
It's the Rock. The Rock.
What's
Slippery Rock, the Rock.
Y'all got a symbol for
Got a
that?
little symbol like this. I'll throw it up there like that for everybody back home. So.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in Dayton, Ohio. Moved to the Pittsburgh area when I was about 6 or 7. And I've lived there ever since.
The first thing that jumped out on me as I was watching film on Brandon was his size. You're 6'4", 300 plus, 305 plus. And what was your playing weight in college?
Came in college around 240, so I was built like a pencil, real skinny. Just took me some time to gain some weight, ate a lot, worked hard in the weight room every day. Just did the things right to make myself, who I am right now. So last year I played around 305, 300, around there. So I'm comfortable, with that weight. So
Definitely. I know some guys kind of try to bulk up or whatever for the combine, for pro days, and really be a nice bulk,
yeah.
For those scouts.
Yeah.
To be a center that size at a Division II program, you have to be very athletic because that's a big center for a Division I program. So were you originally a center? Did you make a switch from another position?
No, in high school I played all 3, guard, center, and tackle. But came into college as a tackle, a bigger guy, taller guy. But 240, that's not center size. Someone's got to be, short and stocky is a size for a center. But bulked up my redshirt year, gained about 20, 25 pounds. Came in the spring ball as a tackle, back up. There was a whole senior line. Senior center got hurt. Out for a couple of weeks with a staph infection. I came right in, did well, and coaches didn't want to move me ever since. So.
Okay, that's what's up. You got the center position, and you had it on lock since then.
Absolutely.
So what made you choose Slippery Rock College to go to?
Now, I really wasn't highly
University.
recruited. Like I said, I was a really small kid, 240 pounds. The biggest school that looked at me was Youngstown State, Morehead State. I had an offer from there, but Slippery Rock came to my house. I thought I really connected with the coaches, and they offered me a scholarship. Slippery Rock's about 25 minutes from my house, so I thought it was a perfect fit for me, for my family to come see games and stuff. So I haven't regretted it ever since.
Definitely, definitely. So did you ever think about during your career, maybe your junior year, your sophomore year, as you started to get some accolades about moving up to Division I? Because you could obviously move up, maybe miss a year, or did you ever think about that?
You know, coming out of high school, you had those dreams of playing Division I football, and I knew coming out of high school, I'm always going to play Division I. Too small, you know, wasn't that great. So, you know, yeah, sophomore, junior year, I was All-American my junior year, and then All-Conference 2 years in a row. Never thought about it though. I love Slippery Rock, love the place. Don't regret going there. It's done a lot for me, and I learned a lot there.
So tell me about your experience at the Senior Bowl. I mean, you know, you got all this stuff surrounding you. He's a small town guy. He came from a small college, Division II college. Did going to the Senior Bowl really allow you to show that you could play with those other guys?
Absolutely. I thought that week was very beneficial for me. I learned a lot. And that first day was kind of iffy. I didn't have all the confidence in the world that first day. Just adjusting to the speed and the strength was a little different for me. So, but you know, that night I really couldn't sleep much. You know, I was thinking about it. Told myself I need to come back next day and just prove myself and the player I am, because I'm confident in my game. And you know, I did that. I thought I improved every day during the week, and came out very confident in that week. So,
How does it feel to be the most decorated player out of Slippery Rock?
it feels unbelievable, you know, because you know, Slippery Rock's had a great tradition of football, just hard-nosed football, and you know, just be known as one of the best players come out of there. It's a great feeling.
So are you getting any extra perks now? You got any new friends coming up?
I guess you could say I could be the big man on campus, but I don't know. We'll see. I haven't been back there.
It's like Cheers. Everybody knows your name.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, when I go back Slippery Rock, I'm always getting a good welcome. So it feels good.
How much pride do you take in coming from a small Division II school? How much does that help you and play with a chip on your shoulder?
You know, not many people from where I'm coming from, or in my position, Division II, get a chance to play, and I know that, and I feel like I'm playing for a lot of people out there, and I just take the best of my opportunities and just do the best I can out there. So.
Talk to me about a lot of the scouts say you play with a motor.
Yeah.
This guy's nonstop, whistle to whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me where that comes from. Where do you get that motor? Where do you get that drive?
You know, I got a temper. I think I get it from my dad, actually. He's got a temper on him, so I get it from him. And, you know, you just gotta have that bully attitude on the field. Just, you know, you're the better than your opponent, and you're just going to dominate him every play. And there's no better feeling than, you know, when you're dominating your guy the whole game, and he's just worn down, and you're just beating the crap out of him. So.
What do you feel like separates you from some of the other centers that are in the draft, or what strengths do you bring to the game?
Well, I'm tall for a center, like you mentioned, 6'4". No, most centers in the league are about 6'2", 6'3". But you know, I got great off the ball quickness. I can reach guys outside zones, inside zones. I got great reach. Take good angles to linebackers. But you know, I'm a fighter and a competitor. I love working and getting better every day. And you know, I know I'll get the job done. They just give me a chance.
So do you consider yourself more of a position blocker or more of a power blocker?
I say I'm more of a position. I'm not a position. I'm more of a mauler, just power guy. Just love to get after it. Just dominate my opponent.
I play with a center who you kind of remind me of, even though you have more height than he does. Jeff Saturday. I think Jeff Saturday's maybe 6'3" on a good day, but he's a position blocker. But he has that maul to his game, you know, and he really uses technique and his mind and plays, you know, little games with guys. You know, maybe if he has an overpowering guy, you know, he may, you know, use his physicality, his technique to overpower a guy. And you seem like you did the same thing on film.
Yeah, I always like to watch him when he's on TV. I don't get to watch him too much coming from Pittsburgh, but you know, he's a great player.
When they play
when
they play the Steelers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two good centers going against each other.
Absolutely, yeah. And I love watching when them two play. I learn a lot, actually. You know, just watching, you know, his hand placement, you know, where he's positioning his hips and stuff like that. It's just the little things that are going to make you look and just make you better as a player, just watching them guys.
Do you play any other positions besides center, or are you open to move into a different position? You know, I mean, it's the NFL. You know, if a guard position opens up.
Yeah. You know, in the NFL, you can't. There's no lineman that play just one position anymore. You know, you got to be a swing man in the NFL, and I feel like I can play that guard position pretty well. You know, I'm quick, good feet, and I can pull. I love pulling and stuff like that. So I think I feel like I can play any position out there. So.
Where do you see yourself getting drafted?
you read all these things, mid rounds, early rounds, late rounds. You know, I don't like reading that stuff, but I have no clue. I mean, I'd say maybe the middle rounds. I'm hoping, but I'm not getting my hopes up for anything. I know where I'm coming from, and just to get drafted is just a dream come true for me. So,
are you worried about not getting drafted? Because me myself, you know, and I thought I was going to be a late rounder, and it came around, and I never got drafted, and it actually was an opportunity for me. But do you worry about not getting drafted?
I do, but I know if I don't, I just want that opportunity, just free agency, whatever. But just a shot, just need a shot, just prove everyone at the next level I can, be as good as everyone else out there.
So we talked about some of your strengths. What do you feel like are some of the things you need to work on early on in your career to become the lineman that you want to be?
Yeah, there's people who have concerns about my knee bend. I play high because I get away with it at the Division II level. You know, these guys are smaller, not as strong, but stuff like that, knee bend, hand placement. I get my hands a little outside sometimes, the shoulder pads, so that'll hurt me sometimes. I use my hands for pass blocking, more punch. Just the little things that are just gonna make me better. That's stuff I need to work on.
I mean, you've obviously worked very hard on your hand placement as it is, your punch, your positioning, your get off. Who's helped you over the years with your technique and helped you become a better lineman?
Well, coming out of high school, I needed a great coach, and that's one thing I searched in the college is offensive line coaches, and the name that comes up is Joe Walton of Slippery Rock, and he's got a great name on him, great guy. You know, he's been there for 20 plus years at Slippery Rock, and he's coached over 10 All-Americans there while he's been there, and he's just a great technician, teaches great techniques, just tells you the little details of being an offensive lineman of the game, football, and I thought he's just a great coach, and it's a blessing to learn from him.
That's great. Great that coach out there, showed you really the ropes and showed you how to play that position.
Yeah.
Who are 3 offensive linemen right now who you've been watching in college, or who you kind of look up to, or who you kind of, pattern your game after?
I like watching Nick Mangold for the Jets. I love his game. Physical guy, always gets after it.
A little nasty in him.
He does, and I'd love that a lineman. And I like the Giants O'Hara. He's a great player too, and just them two. I like them too. Watching them two, just great linemen, and I just take little things from them every time I watch them.
Who's the toughest defensive lineman that you faced so far in college, or maybe at the Senior Bowl or in the senior game? Who gave you some trouble?
Senior Bowl is Phil Taylor from Baylor. In the game, he gave me a little push a couple of times in the backfield, but later on in the game, I learned how to block him and just use my hands, use them punch. So when I did, I was fine. But early on in that game, he gave me some trouble. So.
Just power.
Just power. Yeah, he got underneath me, so I'll give him that one.
Well, as the center position shifts in the NFL from 6'2", 6'3" guys to more 6'4" guys like Brandon here, I feel like he's definitely got a head start on the competition. We appreciate having you here at sports.com, and hopefully, you get drafted and you come in and visit again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
What a nice kid, Daryl. I don't want to.
Great kid.
I don't want to.
Humility, full of humility.
I don't want to get on the wrong side of him when his temper is flaring, but that's for the football field.
Yeah.
But no, he was a great kid. We had him in here.
Big
really
kid,
nice,
big
humble,
kid.
big kid. Made you look small. Really excited to play in the NFL. Here's the question I have. The NFL, I think back in the 50s and 60s, usually took their biggest guy or one of their biggest guys, put him at center, and then lined up somebody huge as a nose guard against him. In the 80s and 90s, it's really moved away from that. You've got guys like Kevin Mawai who are pulling centers and are really kind of controlling the offense, and you've got guys like Nick Mangold and all these other smaller guys. Jeff Saturday is a little bit smaller. He's huge. Can he be flexible enough to be one of these pulling centers and move around and do what they want in the NFL, or is he going to have to change positions?
I mean, number one, you got to remember that pulling centers aren't something that's used by every team in the NFL. That's only very few teams, usually zone schemes where they have the center pulling. I know Jeff Saturday pulls on some plays, but it's very few centers in the league that are actually pulling centers. That's more of something that you see in college with the zone scheme teams. but I think he does have the ability, the talent, the footwork, the quickness, the get off, which is very important at the center position, to play at a high level in the NFL.
So you think he's ready to be a center in the NFL? How hard is it to make the move from Division II, and how will that, in your mind, hurt his draft choices? Because Division II is looked upon and kind of sneezed at, and he's obviously a standout and a star.
I don't think, number one, I don't know how tough that transition is. I know how the transition is to be a guy who's not drafted or a guy who's drafted in the later rounds of the draft to try to make an NFL team. And it's very tough, and you have to go out there and work hard each and every day, each and every practice, sometimes 2-3 times a day. But I think he has that ability, he has that motor, he has that drive. You read the reports on this guy and the grades on this guy, and that's the one thing they says. He has a non-stop motor, whistle to whistle. So I don't expect it to be too tough for him to go into camp and work hard, and that's what he's going to have to do to make a team, and I believe that's what he's going to do.
He seems like he's got a great work ethic, and he's very determined, and he seems like a great athlete from the footage that we've seen and the way he's played. I think he's going to be a great center in the league, and it should be exciting to see him play and to see where he goes. He met with the Jets yesterday. He could be back here in New York.
I just hope the kid gets drafted. Right now he's slated as a middle round, late round type of guy. Maybe a fifth round guy. He's the fourth best center in the draft right now, and I hope he gets drafted because, as it is, if you don't get drafted, you won't sign to a team.
Right, but if he doesn't get drafted and football returns, he could sign to a team.
Yeah, I potentially want to take all the undrafted players this year and just put together like a monster undrafted team. You know what I mean?
That would
or put them on one team.
That would be great. You could just call them the underdogs.
The top undrafted players all go to one team.
What? Like the Las Vegas Underdogs?
No. Not a new team. To one team.
To one team.
Yeah, kind of like.
But then you'd have 100 players on one team.
There's going to be more players on the teams now, because
it's not 100 players.
Because of the 18 games.
But they are going to open up
take the top
spots.
5 guys, top 6 guys, and
just put them on one team.
You get them in one camp. Let them make one team, and just you'll have 5 guys that weren't drafted that are just studs.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting. We're going.
No, it's my undrafted thing.
I like it. I like doing fun things like that. I like doing publicity stunts.
I got a lot of love for guys who aren't drafted.
I like doing things that are publicity stunts. Now, you were an undrafted free agent. How hard was it to not be drafted?
I mean, it was tough. You wait around all day. I knew I wasn't going to be a first day guy. Back then, first day was first, second, and third round, where today it's only the first round. But I knew I wasn't going to be a first day guy, and I knew it would be the later rounds if I was to get drafted. But as those picks came and I seen guys that I knew I was better than go off the board, I just didn't worry. I just, kind of went for a walk. I was at my grandmother's house with my family and went for a walk, came back, the draft was over, and, got a couple phone calls, and, actually it ended up being the best thing that happened to me.
We've got to talk a little Tiger Woods here. Now, we talked about Tiger Woods before the weekend.
Let me tell you about a day. I think it was like 2003 maybe. Hazleton, Minnesota, and I wasn't a big golf fan, but I had a friend of mine, Jenna Curtis, who worked for the PGA Tour, and she offered me these tickets, these exclusive tickets to see the PGA Championship, and I went. And it was in Hazleton, and Tiger hit a ball out of bounds, and it was 5 feet from me. And he comes over, walks down, takes a look, gets Tiger focused, and just hits it through 2 trees, right back on the green. End up birdieing the hole, something crazy, The story goes on, the legend goes on. But this weekend, I was excited again for golf, and I don't like golf, but I feel like golf fans were excited again because Tiger was in the match.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I watched the Masters, and I think that Tiger is very close, if not the same as he was when he left the game. I think Tiger is dominating, and he's playing really well. He's just dominating his peers and the elder statesmen.
I don't think you can say the word dominating on one afternoon. You don't dominate in one game. You have to put together a streak
I've
of
said-
top 5 finishes or a couple
All right.
wins, and then Tiger's
But
dominating
let me,
again.
let me,
He's
let me
not
finish.
dominating.
Hold
with
on, let me finish my thought.
Finishing
He
tied
is-
for 4th place.
He
He's not
is,
dominating.
He's dominating his peers in the elder
He's not
statesman. Wait, here's
dominating.
what
He finished
I
4th.
have a new.
He finished in 4th.
I have a new
did
theory
he
on Tiger.
dominate?
I have a new theory.
We'll
Will
get
you
to
let
that,
me?
but he's not dominating.
Okay, he is. He's dominating his peers in the elder statesmen, the people he had been dominating. Here's the deal. I think that Tiger has. This is the Tiger effect. He's just doing as good as he can do. And what the deal is with Tiger at this point, are you ready for this?
I don't agree with
is
this.
Is that the younger kids who started playing golf at 4, at 5, at 6, and forego other sports to play golf and honed in on golf and stuck with it because of Tiger Woods. Those kids are coming into their own now. When he left the game, they had no Tiger Woods against them. They had no pressure. They had no intimidation factor of Tiger Woods. They were able to quietly come into the game, come into their own, and now these 20-somethings who have had a chance to build their confidence without Tiger are not intimidated by Tiger anymore, and he's playing as good as he did, but they're putting up 14 under, 12 under. 10 under still respectable, but they're putting up 14 and 12 under and winning, and they're dominating him, and they're playing better than him.
Now he's getting dominated.
Where was Lefty?
Tiger's
Where's
dominating.
Sergio Garcia? Where are any of these guys?
We're talking about one.
He beat them all.
We're talking about one event. The
He
Masters.
lost-
You
he
don't
lost
dominate in
he
any
lost
sport.
to the
It doesn't matter
20-year-olds.
what sport you're playing.
He's losing to the
Unless
20-year-olds.
it's basketball, you can dominate one game.
Tiger
but
is-
you don't dominate in one event in golf by coming in 4th place. Like, you're not dominating anybody in one event in golf when there's a whole season.
All I'm saying is that Tiger.
He played
he's
better.
Not, and
he
he's not
played better than,
you see how these,
Nicholas. He played better than Sergio
Listen.
in one time this year. That's
But-
it. That's not dominating them. He played better.
But what
one-
I'm telling you
one
also
time.
is, do you see these kids where Lefty would have folded? These kids weren't intimidated by Tiger down the
There
stretch.
was no
They're
reason
kids.
to be intimidated.
They're kids.
Are you kidding me?
He's the old man.
No. You forgot about the kid who was intimidated, Roy McIlroy, who
He was
started
just
off
intimidated by the whole thing.
He started off the day, 22-year-old kid. That's what you're talking about, right? These 22-year-olds
yeah.
started off Sunday in 1st place and then ended up in tied for 15th because he shot a +8 on the day.
But Charles
Now,
Schwartzel, 26, does not get intimidated.
He's 26.
Birdies
You were
his
talking about
last
the
four.
20 the young 20-year-olds. The young
Reed,
20-year-old
Reed,
was intimidated because he heard the Tiger roars.
How about
Tiger was still in the,
how about Day, who's 20 years old and a rookie, was unintimidated all the way down the stretch and came in tied for 2nd with 12 under.
Number one, there's no reason to be intimidated by Tiger.
Everybody was intimidated by Tiger.
Who finished 10 under, who was only in the race.
Schwartzel,
who
26.
was only in the race the front 9 of the last day. When he got to the back 9, when he really started playing well.
What are you talking about? The first day of the Masters, he was in first. He was on the leaderboard.
I'm talking about when it came to the last day.
But you get intimidated by Tiger, playing with Tiger. Here's the guy. He's going to come on. There was an
He
intimidation
didn't
factor.
go
He
into
doesn't
the
have
last-
that anymore.
He didn't go into the last day in 1st place.
But he doesn't have
Then we'll see.
with
what's
Tiger
going
on your tail.
Then we'll see who's
There's no
intimidated.
intimidation of having Tiger on your tail at this point
Tiger
anymore.
played before them.
I understand, but I'm
talking about?
saying there used to be this intimidation factor.
Yeah, when Tiger's in the lead or he's in that last group on the last day, you know you have to shoot well because Tiger's behind you. If Tiger's ahead of you,
You still need to shoot well.
No, Tiger finished. They're like, oh, Tiger's at 10 under. He finished at 10 under. Okay, take a deep
But you
breath.
still need to be 11 under, 12 under, 14 under to beat them.
I got to keep playing how
Look,
I've been
those guys.
playing.
Did you watch the
First off,
tournament?
you
Because
have
if
to
they
be
screwed up
in it.
one shot, they were losing
You have to be in
to
the
Tiger.
tournament. You have to be in the tournament. You have to be in there.
Do you understand the last? Okay, the last 4 holes, they're all at 10 under.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying
and by the way,
is,
this is the most exciting golf gets with these 6 or 7 golfers all tied for the lead coming down the stretch.
This is what I'm going to say. I think it's much tougher to have Tiger behind you.
No way.
Behind you, not done yet, not finished, not knowing how he's going to finish.
Because it's yours
than
to
having
lose
him
now.
ahead of you.
No, because it's yours to lose.
Yeah, I got to drop 5 strokes. I got to play the worst golf I've been playing all weekend to lose the tournament.
But now it's mine. It's mine. It's right there. It's 4 holes away, and if I birdie those 4 holes, I'll win. And if I don't, I have a playoff
If I
with Tiger.
birdie 2 out of 4, I'll still win.
I have a playoff and got to go head to head. I'm telling
It
you,
wouldn't even have been with him and Tiger. It would have been him and
Tiger's.
It was tied for 4th.
I think Tiger's playing good golf. That's what I'm trying to say. And these kids are just
He's
playing
not
better.
dominating.
They're just playing better. And let me tell you something
They
else
played
about
better
Tiger.
in one
Did you
match.
notice that Tiger has lost a lot of size? I just want to bring that up. He's
They
lost a
played
lot of
better
size, a
at
lot of
one
muscle.
event.
A lot
so
of muscle.
obviously Tiger's not dominating, but I feel that
He's
maybe
not dominating
over
the kids.
the
What I was
next
saying, if you
3
listen,
events,
Reed,
3
if
or
you
4
listen,
events,
focus,
he
let's
did
get
dominate
the
kids.
ADD out of here.
He did dominate Roy McIlroy.
No, he
who-
dominated. What I'm
who
saying
started
is
the day?
he-
Who started the day in first place?
If you take
he
those-
dominated that kid of yours.
If you take those 20-something-year-olds out of there, he dominates all of his peers and all of the elder statesmen who are older than him. He dominates them
There's
all.
always young guys coming up in golf.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is
There's
the young
that's
guys
nothing
have the young guys who Tiger inspired to play golf have finally showed up, and they're
That's
giving him a
nothing
run for
new.
his money, and that's why
They
he's
were
not
playing
dominating.
golf before
He's
Tiger.
now the elder
They were
statesman.
playing golf before Tiger started playing.
No,
golf.
they weren't. 26 years ago.
Tiger hasn't been playing golf for 26 years.
You want to bet he has?
no, he
He's
hasn't.
like 36.
He hasn't been playing. For,
Yeah, but these kids were
he
like
hasn't
10.
been playing
They were like
professionally.
10. They were like.
They were probably playing since they were 6 and 8 years
No,
old.
they were inspired
You
by
know this-
Tiger.
you
They
know
were
this Schwartzel-
inspired
the
by Tiger.
Schwartzel kid-
Call us up,
the Schwartzel kid has been playing since he was 7 years
347-480-1724.
old.
Impressive golf by Schwartzel.
He's been playing since he was 7 years old, before Tiger went pro.
347-480-1724. He might be the exception, but you get the idea. And these kids are coming on strong, and he inspired them to play better. Just like Brett Favre wasn't playing football before I was a kid, but when I was 13, 14 years old, I wanted to be Brett Favre.
I really feel sorry for your boy Roy McIlroy.
Look, I got to give my
who
hat
was
off
affected
to.
by the Tiger.
How about Schwartzel? I got to give my hat off to him.
22-year-old kid, Roy McIlroy.
4 birdies on the last 4
Plus
holes.
8.
Schwartzel, very
Plus 8
impressive.
on the last day.
Very impressive.
Just
I
fell
look
apart.
forward to seeing some more golf from Schwartzel. As I said, this is the most exciting golf gets, so hopefully
Schwartzel got
it'll
lucky.
be like this.
I mean, he's one tournament.
All right, we've got to take a break, but I got to tell you what. When we get back, we've got a surprise to end the show, and it's not Jen Sturger. She's not coming in here. We might have some pictures of her. A friend of mine took some good photos of her. But in addition to that, we'll talk a little bit about that, but we got Gene Fugit coming on up on Skype to talk some NFL lockout and the latest on that situation. That's coming up when we get back from break. You can call in and participate 347-480-1724, sports_media on Twitter. I'm Michael Artis alongside Darrell Reed. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Justin Tucker, the New York Giants, and you're watching sportce.com.
If you want everything sports, you got to go to sportce.com. That's spelled SPORTCE.com. We're going to take you behind the scenes in the world of sports and a lot more. It's sport, content, and entertainment. We got a lot of great stuff. Technology segments.
Now it's got the front and back facing cameras, so you can do video chats like this one via Skype on the 3G network, and you can do FaceTime, only available on the Wi-Fi. It's got a lot of other great features. You can edit on it with iMovie. You can make songs and voiceovers.
Behind the scenes.
We back, sports.com, at this secret location behind the scenes. Jim Jones.
We'll take you into the lives of athletes, follow them off the field, but it's also music.
Be right here, but it's perfect day.
And other genres as well. Check us out, sports.com, and we've got live shows 5 days a week. A lot of live shows with live guests in our New York City studios. We've got Rally Notes at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights, The Warning Track, 6 p.m. on Friday nights, Schwartz on Sports with esteemed broadcaster Peter Schwartz, 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and on Wednesdays, it's The Music Movement with Darrell Reed. Check us out, sports.com.
Live on sports.com. I'm Peter Schwartz, and we're joined by one of the current.
If you want everything sports, you got to tune in to Schwartz on Sports. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., Peter Schwartz, the esteemed broadcaster, takes on everything sports. He's got everything from high-end pro sports like the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball to alternative sports like extreme games, lacrosse, tennis, golf, and everything in between.
Joined by Minnesota Vikings Hall of Famer John Randall. Last year, you were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that is the biggest honor that a player can get bestowed on him. What was that feeling like when you were enshrined in that candidate?
It was unbelievable.
You got to check out Schwartz on Sports because there's nothing you know that he doesn't. He knows everything sports. So check it out, 8 p.m. on sports.com, Tuesdays.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Warning Track. I'm Matt Mankiewicz.
If you could change one thing about the game today, what would it be?
Baseball fans, don't forget to check out the Warning Track Friday nights at 6 p.m. with Brett Quintine and Matt Mankiewicz. They'll take you through the MLB season, talk everything baseball, have great guests, and field your calls. It's 6 p.m. on Friday nights. Don't miss it. The Warning Track. It's out of here.
I'm Justin Tucker, the New York Giants, and you're watching sportce.com.
If you want everything sports, you got to go to sportce.com. That's spelled sportce.com. We're going to take you behind the scenes in the world of sports and a lot more. It's sport, content, and entertainment. We got a lot of great stuff. Technology segments.
Now it's got the front and back facing cameras, so you can do video chats like this one via Skype on the 3G network, and you can do FaceTime, only available on the Wi-Fi. It's got a lot of other great features. You can edit on it with iMovie. You can make songs and voiceovers.
Behind the scenes.
We back, sports.com, at this secret location behind the scenes. Jim Jones.
We'll take you into the lives of athletes, follow them off the field, but it's also music.
Be right here, but it's perfect day.
And other genres as well. Check us out, sports.com, and we've got live shows 5 days a week. A lot of live shows with live guests in our New York City studios. We've got Rally Notes at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights, The Warning Track, 6 p.m. on Friday nights, Schwartz on Sports with esteemed broadcaster Peter Schwartz, 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and on Wednesdays, it's The Music Movement with Daryl Reed. Check us out, sports.com.
Michael Artsis alongside Daryl Reed with you here on Sports Daily. Daily from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Ustream.tv and sports.com. We've got a special guest joining us via Skype and talk a little NFL lockout and what the mediation means. Gene Fugit is joining us from Baltimore, Maryland. Gene, thanks for joining us. Gene, how's it going? I don't know if Gene can hear us. We'll have to work on those. I think we've got some technical difficulties, but we can see Gene is there. At least we can see him.
Yeah. Gene looked like he was getting ready
to come on.
He was trying to say something. I couldn't hear him.
You couldn't hear him? Let me see if Gene can hear us now. Gene. Gene, welcome to Sports Daily. How are you?
Nope.
I don't think we've got him.
No, Gene.
Well, we'll work on that. We'll get back to you with that. We wanted to talk a little bit about Jen Sturger, and the only thing I want to talk about is that we shouldn't talk about her. I think she's just a publicity stunt. She's just looking.
You know what? And you're giving her more publicity. Exactly what
That's what. But I just want to say, because nobody has really said this. Look, I know some guys who have photographed her. They took some scantily clad pictures of her that she wanted to be put in Playboy. She wanted to send to Playboy.
Mike's got new allegations on Jen.
I've seen the pictures, and I'll tell you,
I haven't seen the pictures. Email them to me, Mike.
I will email them to you. But the point is, I don't have the pictures, but I've seen the pictures. She set up a photo shoot with these guys. She was looking for anything to get publicity. Anything and everything she could possibly do to get publicity. And that's why I think, I'm not saying
what
that...
What is she supposed to do? Her career's over? Her media career is over?
You know what? Just keep working. Keep trying.
Keep trying.
How is it over?
No, everybody knows
Who released those text messages? Who released those photos? Come on.
Deadspin.com.
No, but who gave them to Deadspin? You don't think it was
They
her?
had an agreement. I don't know.
Okay. All I have to say...
Well, all we know is her media career is over.
No, it's not necessarily over. She's making it over.
Unless she does something now, and she puts herself
She's
back in the
making it over.
spotlight.
Just go back to work.
She's
Go
putting
back
herself-
and get another job and keep quiet about
an
it.
NFL team? Who's going to hire her?
No, not with an NFL
Would you
team.
hire her?
No, but not with an NFL team.
And after you allegedly say she's taking
But
some
that's the
nude
thing.
pictures?
So go model
for
or go do
Playboy?
whatever you want to do. Look, all I'm saying is
I
I'm
think-
not saying that Brett Favre didn't do it. And if Brett Favre did do it, it's wrong. And that is sexual harassment. But she needs to just move on with her life at this point.
I definitely
or
think it's
or
more
bring a
to-
lawsuit.
I think it's more to it than to
Or bring
that
a
Brett
lawsuit.
Favre thing. You know?
All right. There's one other thing I wanted to talk
You
about.
don't just
that I'm upset
send
about, and we'll
random-
see if we can
you
get
just
Gene.
don't. You got to get comfortable with a person to send them those type of pictures. You got to have at least some kind of exchange, like, hey, da da da. Oh, what do you want to do? Let's hang out. I heard she said smile.
I know,
so
that's
he
what I'm saying.
smiled.
I'm sure that there's more to that story.
more
I don't
to
think that Brett just sent pictures. Oh,
Nobody
hey, let's
just,
go out
I
tonight.
don't care who it is. Nobody just sends random
Yeah.
pictures to random people.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Especially
wonder-
somebody in that position. It's just
You know,
not
we're
gonna
going to
happen.
try Gene again in a few minutes, but I wonder if our Skype settings, if the computer that we have back there, if maybe the Skype settings are a little off, and maybe the microphone and the stuff back there needs to
Maybe
be
we need
tweaked.
an app. Maybe we need an app.
You know, maybe we do need an app, and that brings up an excellent point. It could be Gene's settings, by the way, and we do a lot of Skypes with
Gene's
Gene,
settings
but they're
are usually pretty good.
They are pretty good. I'm not going to blame them on him. But that brings up a good point about the apps, because I am a baseball fan. I thought, here's an opportunity to get more involved in baseball, and I see the app on the iPhone for $14.99 at bat. And years ago, for $9.99, I took
The fastest selling app right now on all the phones is At Bat.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the #1 selling app right now.
I know it's the #1 moneymaker, but that's the cost. So it's $14.99, and it was $9.99 years ago, and I bought it and used it, and
How
it
old
was
is
good.
this app?
They've been doing
2
it for 2 or
years?
3 years. And I really liked it. And now it's $14.99. If you read carefully, you can't watch the games just by having the app. You have to have a $120 subscription to MLB.TV.
That's if you want to see the live stuff, correct?
Of course.
All right. So, I mean, if you
But
want
that's
to see
the whole
live
point, is
stuff,
that I've got my phone here and I want to watch a game and I want to watch it live. And I just think that that's overkill and it's outrageous. Why do they have to charge so much? I'm a guy who's in the business willing to pay something, and I just feel like it's a lot of money, and I'm on the fence now.
you know what? I feel like
I think it's not fair to the
You
fans.
know why this app is so popular?
Because
I
people
think-
want to watch baseball. And I
No,
thought I'd get
think it's
back into
'cause
baseball like when I was a
is
kid.
Boring. It's because baseball is a little boring, and so you don't have to actually watch the entire game. You can plug in this app, catch pieces of the game, catch the highlights, catch what you want to catch, and you don't have to sit through that long 9 innings. I'm not into that.
Well, then you can watch the highlights. But I
Mike's
think,
like, I love sitting through the 9
no, I
innings.
don't. I want to tune in every now and
Yeah,
then.
you
but
get
that's
to
the
tune
thing.
in, or you can hear it.
But if
or-
they charge $50,
I don't think you need the
If they
live
charge
thing.
$50.
You don't need the 120. Who wants to sit there and watch a baseball game on their phone? I don't.
but if they charge $50 for it, you would buy it probably, and you would tune in a little bit more.
If you want to watch a game live, I don't.
And they
want,
could sell
I
more
don't really want to watch a
advertising.
baseball game live. I like the app without the.
I was trying to get back. When I was a kid, I used to watch baseball.
So hold on. So it's $15.99 for the app.
$14.99 for the app, and then another $120 to watch.
But what
the
if you
game.
don't pay the 120?
I don't think you even get the highlights. I think you just get the
you get
graphic
something.
of the pitch.
I'm gonna buy an iPhone next week, and I'm gonna download this app, and I'm not even gonna pay the 120. I don't want the live games, and I don't need all of that.
Or you could jailbreak your phone, and then you're all good.
Jailbreak.
That's what I
illegal.
think it's forcing
It's
most
illegal.
people to do.
It's illegal, isn't
It's
it?
not illegal. It actually, Congress said it's perfectly legal, and they can't stop it now.
Congress in China. Everything's
All right,
legal
we're going
over
to take
there.
a quick break. Try and bring Gene Fugit on with us when we come back. We'll go a little after 2 p.m. today just to bring you Gene because of some technical difficulties here. This is sports.com and Ustream.tv bringing you Sports Daily live daily, Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Michael Artsis.
Darryl Reed. I'm going to go over to China and build some apps.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm
We'll be
gonna
back
build-
right after this.
I'm Justin Tucker, the New York Giants, and you're watching sports.com.
If you want everything sports, you got to go to sports.com. That's spelled SPORTCE.com. We're going to take you behind the scenes in the world of sports and a lot more. It's sport, content, and entertainment. We got a lot of great stuff. Technology segments.
Now it's got the front and back facing cameras, so you can do video chats like this one via Skype on the 3G network, and you can do FaceTime, only available on the Wi-Fi. It's got a lot of other great features. You can edit on it with iMovie. You can make songs and voiceovers.
Behind the scenes.
We back, sports.com, at this secret location behind the scenes. Jim Jones.
We'll take you into the lives of athletes, follow them off the field, but it's also music.
Be right here, but it's perfect day.
And other genres as well. Check us out, sports.com, and we've got live shows 5 days a week. A lot of live shows with live guests in our New York City studios. We've got Rally Notes at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights, The Warning Track, 6 p.m. on Friday nights, Schwartz on Sports with esteemed broadcaster Peter Schwartz, 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights, and on Wednesdays, it's The Music Movement with Darryl Reed. Check us out, sports.com.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Warning Track. I'm Matt Mankiewicz.
If you could change one thing about the game today, what would it be?
Baseball fans, don't forget to check out The Warning Track Friday nights at 6 p.m. with Brett Quintine and Matt Mankiewicz. They'll take you through the MLB season, talk everything baseball, have great guests, and field your calls. It's 6 p.m. on Friday nights. Don't miss it. The Warning Track. It's out of here.
Welcome to Sports. My name is Greg Dorman, and this is Rally Notes.
Racing fans, don't forget that on Thursdays at 7 p.m., it's time for Rally Notes. Greg Dorman, rally racing co-driver from Klein Racing, hosts guests and takes your calls about the entire automotive industry, rally racing, and auto racing in general. Rally racing is a great sport. They have Subarus and all sorts of off-road, all-wheel drive vehicles that run through the mud and the backlogging roads. But he's not only talking rally, he'll talk all sorts of racing and automobiles as well. We'll test cars, we'll drive cars, and we'll have a lot of fun. Rally Notes, 7 p.m. on Thursday. Don't miss it.
Live on sports.com. I'm Peter Schwartz, and we're joined by one of the current.
If you want everything sports, you got to tune in to Schwartz on Sports. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., Peter Schwartz, the esteemed broadcaster, takes on everything sports. He's got everything from high-end pro sports like the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball to alternative sports like extreme games, lacrosse, tennis, golf, and everything in between.
Joined by Minnesota Vikings Hall of Famer John Randall. Last year, you were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that is the biggest honor that a player can get bestowed on him. What was that feeling like when you were enshrined in that camp?
It was unbelievable.
You got to check out Schwartz on Sports because there's nothing you know that he doesn't. He knows everything sports. So check it out, 8 p.m. on sports.com, Tuesdays.
All right, well, unfortunately, we have no Gene Fugit today, but we'll have him on tomorrow. He was on Skype, as you saw,
Sorry,
but
Gene.
we had some technical difficulties here, and I think we've got them worked out, but I think it's past the point for him, so we'll get him tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. Hopefully, there'll be some new news. Hopefully, that the NFLPA or the trade union, as they are, trade associations as they are now. The judge mandates something, the owner, some kind of agreement comes so he can come to us with some really, really good news.
I'm sure he'll have something to say. That's for sure.
Definitely. Gene always has something to say.
Well, partner, it's been a good show. I'm Michael Artis for Darryl Reed. This is Sports Daily. We'll be back here with you tomorrow, 1 to 2 p.m. And on Thursday, we'll hit the road. We're going with Rally Notes to drive the new Mini. We're going to do the show from the road. You're going.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. My man Greg Dorman, Rally Notes. And then is that going to air Thursday night, or are we going to air that next week sometime?
Oh, that's going to be the show live, and then we'll have a piece that'll probably run next week that we'll shoot. We're going to test the new mini crossover, and we're going to test some other cars while we're on the track. Maybe a Cadillac CTS-V. What do you think?
Whip it real hard.
Whip the whips.
Whip it.
And we've got Rally Notes at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. But don't forget about Schwartz on Sports with Peter Schwartz tonight. He's got a couple of great guests lined up. And next week, Dan Lauria, the guy who plays Lombardi on Broadway, was also the father in the Wonder Years. He'll be in studio. So we've got a lot of great guests for that. And the Warning Track is Friday nights. The Music Movement is Thursdays. We've got a lot of great stuff for you. Check out sports.com. Check out Ustream.tv. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m., to take your calls and to bring you some interviews and some guests.
So I guess that's it for today's show. You know, we'll have Gene Fugit on tomorrow, some other guests. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 1 o'clock, sports.com. Peace.